Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Spine Chill. This is formerly the longest-running, highest-rated, best #1 asymmetrical horror podcast in the world, and this is season 41. We just expanded the format to talk about general gaming, so there's a lot of people that are listening that may not be familiar with us. So we'll go ahead and reintroduce ourselves. I'm senior co-host John Wolf, and then
I am senior co-host Gary Bunn, the Hot
Gary
Cross.
Bunn. Now, Gary,
full
what
name
do
to
you
myself. What do I do?
What do you do?
I stream on Twitch at the Hot Cross, and I'm an ex-game developer. I made a game called Nightblights. Game design's kind of my thing. I taught game design for like 8 years. Like, I'm very nerdy. That's what I do.
How about that?
Yeah.
What a great senior co-host. And then we've got a brand new senior co-host this episode.
Let's go.
Joining us on a regular basis, our good friend SinowBeats.
Thanks very much for having me. Thank you. It's nice to become another senior co-host here. Felt like you needed just one more to complete things.
We've been looking for one for ages.
We've always wanted 3 senior co-hosts, so this has
I'm
been
ready.
Great.
I'm here for you guys. I stream over at twitch.tv/SinowBeats, and I watch a lot of trashy TV on YouTube as well these days. And I have a degree in Japanese, so I got a little mix going on myself. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
So nice
and
being a senior co-host.
We also have here our junior co-host, who has been with us for the last 40 episodes of Spine Chill. He was recently promoted to junior co-host. We're very thrilled to be welcoming him back for season 41. Please welcome Doug, Running Man.
Well done.
Hey, guys. So I'm, again, 40 seasons of hard work, and I am a junior co-host, welcoming in senior co-host SinowBeats. So this is a weird start to 2024. All right, I am a full-time content creator, as well as the rest of this lot. I stream horror asymmetrical games on Twitch, and I've started playing single-player Let's Plays for YouTube. I have big plans for this year to expand there. I record the Spine Show podcast with these lads. I record the Himbo Horror podcast with Eric Tally-Hobro, talk about horror movies. I also designed a game. It was not going to be called Nightblights, but it released as Nightblights. That's crazy. So
I didn't realize that you were involved in that. You were a co-developer.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't
mentioned that.
I wasn't a co-developer. I actually developed the game, and then I had the IP stolen off my laptop. So
Describe to me what a use case statement is.
Also, I also know Japanese that I learned before SinowBeats did.
Okay.
I actually taught him. So no.
I think I see what's going on here. So, Sino, you and Gary both stole Doug's story. And, of course, he went last. And you knew that, right?
I felt like this was kind of the thing on Spine Chill. I thought this was just how it goes. It was like survival of the fittest. The jungle.
Listen,
if it's survival of the fittest, I win. I can do so many push-ups, bro.
Just because he's a junior co-host, you guys want to pick on him? Well, I'm not going to stand for it. Now, what's really going on? Gary, what game did you really develop? Tell us for real this time.
I'm not playing this game. I made Nightblights. My name's on it.
All right, well. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for season 41.
I hate it here.
We're going to be talking
Me too!
So just to set expectations, we are going to still be talking about a lot of asymmetrical horror games, which is what we covered for the first 40 episodes.
Seasons.
But we're not... Right. We call episodes seasons. It's our thing. Well, every episode is the first episode of that season, and then we start up again with a new season the next episode. So every episode is a season premiere and season finale. It's great. Very exciting. But yeah, we're going to be talking about asymmetrical horror games, but we're also going to be talking about just general gaming stuff. So we'll probably start off talking about, the general stuff like DBD, Propnight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but then later we'll be talking about some Lethal Company, Outlast Trials, things that are a little more, Phasmophobia, and who knows where the night will take us.
Which way the wind will blow.
Exactly.
I don't like the wind.
Why? All right, Francis from Left 4 Dead over here.
Hang on,
I'm just saying,
Doug. Why do you not like the wind? Is it because you can't? Is it because you can't punch it?
if I could punch the wind, then I'd believe in God. The wind is so annoying, right? Like it's constantly like, pulls your hat off. I mean, we all wear hats, right? Like constantly.
No, I was gonna say you don't have hair to get messed up. So
yes,
right. Well, I have hair, dude. There's hair. It's there.
The wind's gonna have to try very hard to mess that up.
It's just, it blows in your face when you're running. It's really frustrating. Sometimes you're riding your bicycle and like blows into you, and then you have to. It's hard work. It blows things off the picnic table. There's this wind is always inconvenient. I don't mess with kites, so I don't like it.
Okay, so what natural element do you guys not like?
So I just noticed that you have a Shure SM7B. When did you get that?
Oh yeah, my old microphone is like, whenever I got loud, it could just never handle it. I think it's because it was like, I don't know, it was made for instruments or something. So I changed over. I was like, everybody's got the Shure, and this one you don't need to do the whole cloud lifter or anything like that. And it just sounds really good, even though I've got it connected via USB. So Shure's knocked out the park in this one. Not sponsored yet, but could be because I like this thing. So
you think it sounds good?
Yeah, like legit. It doesn't have that Blue Yeti thing.
That's weird.
Wow. Well, I think it sounds good. Okay.
Very clever.
There's a new
Junior co-host jealousy going on.
He started explaining himself though. He doesn't get it yet. That's really funny.
John. There's a new dynamic here.
Yeah,
I know.
It's very interesting.
What new dynamic?
So yeah, shall we talk about kind of some sad news, but kind of funny news to start off with?
Let's start off with something funny.
So Fntastic. Did everybody play the day before?
No, I never played it. I think we saw the trailer for it like months ago.
The trailer looked great, but apparently the game was really dog, like just bad.
Oh yeah.
And like apparently, like it was very false advertisement. It wasn't really working. It's a bit of a mess, and it's a lot of. I've heard rumors that it had like. Well, I say rumors. I've heard people say it's like stolen assets as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really look that hard into it. I just saw a bunch of people saying it was a scam, and I was like, well, how can a game be a scam? Maybe it's just bad. So I didn't really look into it, but then they shut down the whole studio.
Well, I think the scam talk was because they released like gameplay footage and they released like trailers and stuff that like did not match the finished product at all. Like they kind of like implied that the game was going to be one way and it launched completely different. It was totally broken. People were having issues like consistently, like people couldn't even play the game on day one. Like it was just like a huge dumpster fire.
Right.
Like didn't they delist it off of Steam like within a week of it launching?
I think it was gone in days, wasn't it?
It might have even been days. It was like a record.
Wasn't it gone the day before?
Hey.
That was so good.
But yeah, unfortunately, like 2 days after it came out, I think it was gone. Maybe it was like very quick. They were like, and then Steam was having to say they were gonna give the refunds out. People were like demanding refunds, and Steam was going to make sure that happened. And unfortunately, because the studio's now gone under, that means Propnight is dead.
Propnight, the asymmetrical horror smash hit game that combined elements of Dead by Daylight and the Gmod Prop Hunt.
Yeah,
there's no more. And
it had farting in it. I could bonk and fart, and it's gone.
Yeah. It lasted for 2 years, honestly, which not a bad run for an asymmetrical horror game.
It's kind of shocking how much that is like a long lifespan. Asymmetrical horror games are like flies. They die very quickly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Propnight was... It actually felt... It kind of looked a bit like Overwatch, and I feel like the visuals of it, the first time I played it, I was kind of shocked at how polished it was sometimes. Like, it didn't feel like that kind of janky horror thing that you get with a lot of horror multiplayer games. It felt really fun to play, although sometimes trying to hit somebody on the head as like an object was a little trial and error, to say the best. Sometimes I'd be like landing on someone as like a massive pillar and they'd be fine. And then when I play killer, if somebody even looks at me, I'd be like, oops, I've been stunned for 5 seconds. Oh.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just ASIMs, right? That's the usual ASIM nonsense. But it was good. Like... I would go to bat for that game. I would defend that game. All these people...
Yeah, 40 seasons we defended that game.
Yeah, hashtag thank God for Propnight.
Yeah.
Every time like Fntastic would post something, people would be like, "What? When is the day before coming out?" And I'd be like, "What about Propnight?"
Yeah, it's like a fun... It was like a party game in the pure sense of the word.
You could fart.
It stayed
Yeah.
fun till the end. It continually got updates. Like they were updating that game right up until it just fell off a cliff, right? They put
Yeah.
out that kitchen map and everybody was
Oh,
really excited about.
that was like the end of the world for it.
That was like the last thing, yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
they pulled that out because it just didn't work. Like it just broke
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
game's balance.
So they had a map. I'm not sure if you ever played it, Sino, but it was like
You were
like
like a
Honey, I
small
Shrunk the
yeah.
Kids. Like
Yeah.
you were on a kitchen counter and stuff, and you could like bonk the or like as the killer, you could throw survivors off the counter and they would just die.
Yeah, don't
Instantly.
challenge them, just insta dead.
Yeah, it was like
Finally, a
super
balance
broken.
came.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about the theory I had on this before, where I was convinced that somebody running Propnight was just like an eccentric millionaire?
Oh yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
kept being like, we're going to remake the game completely. We're going to do these weird updates where now you're like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids thing. It was just like random stuff that they would come up with. And I was like, how has this game not just died yet? Like,
Yeah, 'cause
money-wise.
I'm not even sure what its business model really was to like keep
Yeah.
pumping out money. I don't know how it.
I
Is it
think
money
they were-
laundering?
I think they were funding money for the day before, and then the day before tanked, and then they were like, "Well, that's it." That's how I understand the money flow goes.
Shame.
But, yeah.
Yeah, Propnight's dead.
Oh, rip
Wah,
Rob
wah.
Knight.
Another one on the pile.
Yes.
And then there were 3 or however many there are now.
We'll probably go through the
It's
entire
debatable.
list today.
Probably go
so.
through the entire. Yeah, there's not that many left.
But speaking of one that is still alive, Dead by Daylight. We haven't spoken about it for a little while, so there's a lot to talk about with it.
You know, I feel like I have to add crucial context to my POV for DBD, and that's that I haven't played it since November. So I haven't played Chucky. If Chucky's out, I haven't played with him. I have no idea what I'm talking about with DBD. Yeah.
Oh, then me and Doug. So, have you played DBD?
Yeah, I play it.
Okay, so we can.
I can't
we can
stop
tell you about
smiling.
I was going to
I
say,
was
you
gonna
look so
say,
like,
yeah.
you
I was
look so
gonna ask,
healthy and
yeah.
happy all of a
You're
sudden.
Ask, how does that make you feel?
I'm finally
Like,
free
yeah.
from DBD.
Well, we could
No,
talk about
sorry,
that
go
a
ahead.
little bit, like the DBD kind of sphere. I have noticed a dramatic drop in people playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like streamers, like people were just moving away from it, left, right, and center. I don't know how the player numbers are looking. I haven't looked at it, but like I'm playing it less. I mean, obviously, John, you stopped playing it. I mean, Doug, I know you mix it up with a lot more Texas Chainsaw and various
Yep.
other games, and I've
Yep.
seen some streamers completely just move away. They just stopped.
Yeah, playing like Baldur's Gate 3
Yeah.
or like Hunt Showdown or any other game that's kind of Lethal Company. A lot of people have been playing
Oh,
that
yeah.
lately.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've seen some even playing like Apex Legends and stuff, like just anything but DBD.
Anything but, yeah.
It kind
so
of feels like there aren't necessarily less people playing DBD, but the space for watching DBD or being a content creator has shrunk slightly, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think it has.
I have a theory to why that is.
Okay.
I
Curious
think
theory.
just before Chucky came out, there was an MMR overhaul, which I remember recognizing, like this game feels weird today, and then the next day it felt weird, and then my entire chat was acting like, no, I'm talking nonsense. There's nothing's changed. And then Otsdava did a video and went, they've changed the MMR. So yeah, they completely overhauled it in some way where if you were, I don't know, Doug, your matches must be.
I was saying,
crazy.
I can tell you what happened. All right, so basically what happened is there used to be a soft cap on the MMR, right?
Mhm.
Where like if you hit a soft cap, that's like high MMR. Once you've hit it, you're at the soft cap, and then like it bunches everybody above that cap into like the same bracket and prioritizes matches. They raised the soft cap up higher. So essentially, like you have to be at a higher MMR to hit the soft cap for top MMR. And so that shrinks the player base down to people that are way up at the top, like that are, have higher MMRs. Now, there's been theories like since then that because of the nature of DBD and the nature of like win streaks and the nature of things, like everybody's eventually going to find their way back. That was at the soft cap before, but like for the time between that, a lot of people were stuck playing against like nothing but like strong teams, killers playing against strong teams playing against strong killers. It went from it was already really sweaty, but like it went to like turbo sweat for like a month or so. And it's funny because I was traveling at the time. So I was on the East Coast and I was like playing. I was like, God, these East Coast squads are crazy. Like I didn't expect this to be that bad, right? I was like, wow, I didn't think the coast would be this different. And then maybe like a week or two later, he posted on Twitter that one of the community managers confirmed that they did actually raise the soft cap up. So
Yeah.
That's where we're at now. And I would agree with Gary that the MMR soft cap raising up was like literally when a lot of the more prominent Dead by Daylight streamers started being like, I'm not having fun playing the game anymore, and then they started playing other games.
Yeah.
I can think of some names. I can think of some Fog Whisperers that tweeted that they were like, "Yeah, I'm not enjoying DBD right now. I'm gonna play other games."
Former Fog Whispers, surely.
No, current.
Oh, there's still Fog Whispers, but not playing DBD. Interesting.
Current.
That's how you get Fog Whisperer, right?
Yeah, you just don't play DBD.
You don't play
and
DBD.
You'll get
yeah.
it. If you do play it, maybe we'll pass on you for a while.
But yeah, like I still am not enjoying Killer. I don't play Killer enough to get my cap to go down, like my MMR.
Yeah.
So like I played it I played it on Wednesday, and I was going up against people that were legit practicing for competitions. I was like,
yeah,
they're coming into my chat and chatting shit, but like
every day.
My
bro.
God,
that's my life. That's my.
I
life
know.
now.
Yeah. That's what you have to put with all the time.
I've been having so much fun though. Like I've gone the opposite. Like I used to go really hard, and now I'm just so like namaste and dismissive. It's really funny. They like try really hard to make me upset. I can't feel anymore, dude. I'm playing at this MMR now for a month, 2 months, however long it's been.
Well, I took a page out of your book, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm bringing Noed. I'm going to bring No Way Out.
Yeah,
I'm going to start being a bit
have to.
sweatier. And I got this comp team that they were so unhappy that I got a 2K, and they come into my chat. I was like, you guys played really well. I was complimenting them, and they just started, the homophobic slurs just started getting swung out.
Of course.
That's like, the comp DVD that
this
I
is
remember.
weird. This is strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the MMR change, I think, has shifted a lot of the mindset, and people just aren't enjoying DBD at the moment, which is kind of a shame. Especially considering we've just had a Christmas event and a new killer and a new PTB. So where do you guys want to start with that stuff? Like,
can I say one more thing related to the MMR stuff? So this, in my opinion, I've been talking about this a lot lately. I think this is a product of DBD Twitter and people as a whole, the community as a whole. This is what people have asked for, is for DBD to be more competitive, because they've been asking for the game to be balanced. And
agreed.
what balance looks like is a competitive game. And so people have asked for balance, and Behavior is now balancing their game as if it is a competitive game. And so this is, I mean, again, survivors feel like they can't do an extended chase anymore because we have so many anti-loop killers. So they're just running gen builds, and they're going in and they're trying to get gens done as fast as possible. And why are they doing that? Because they fucking need to. Because if they don't, they're going to get slaughtered, right? And on the flip side, killers have to go in with gen regression. And this is what we had. We had Fog Whisperers complaining that they had to run slowdown perks because they didn't want to even compete anymore. And it's like, that's kind of what you guys have been asking for all along, I feel like they've been asking for the game to be balanced. Well, now it is, though. So
yeah, it's again, it continues to be more balanced than it's ever been.
Yeah, and that makes it more competitive and makes it less fun. And so that's kind of like, it's kind of like getting, making your bed and then having to lay in it, I feel like. I had one last thought. I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you guys see the guy who was tweeting about how he had his 199 win streak on Plague broken?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Lloyd, I don't know if you're caught up on this, but a dude tweeted being like, my 199 Plague streak comes to an end because these guys used all these meta perks and they relied on meta perks, and they got the map offering and they got the win. And somebody made such a good point, and I loved it. I've been talking about it ever since. They were like, you were running a full meta build on a strong killer. Like, what are they supposed to do? Like, and he got a 2K. Isn't that literally what DBD is supposed to be?
Right.
2K is an even match. So you had a sweaty killer and a sweaty team. They met on a sweaty map, and it was a 2K. It's literally how the game is designed.
It was like a 50-50. So it wasn't even like an abject failure where you could barely touch them and then they all just left.
Exactly.
Oh, heaven forfend that after 200 tries at the game, there was one time where you lost maybe because of unfavorable RNG.
Didn't
the
lose.
Other team...
Right.
It didn't lose.
Didn't lose.
Oh, don't
Right,
worry.
it's
He
just-
clarified that in the replies because they were just like, oh, one loss out of 200. And he was like, asterisk draw.
Oh,
I
okay,
had to
so you
make
can't
sure
even
you
let
knew.
that one go by
Can't
when
even
it's
let it
complaining.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy.
I'm
And
like,
again,
bro, come on.
It's Lloyd, I know you're into like real competitive games. You play Street Fighter, and I know you were really into Overwatch for a while. You're into like balanced competitive games and
League
stuff
of
like
Legends.
that. Like, and Gary, John, you play
Tactics.
League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
Gary, do you play any like
Not recently.
I guess Fortnite would be like the closest thing.
Gary plays Fae Farm.
Fortnite's
No,
kinda
I
casual.
played
This is-
Coral Island. I haven't played
and you
Fae
better
Farm.
Plays
not-
Coral Island.
Hey, senior co-host, knock that shit off. This was not an attempt to drag Gary. I'm making a point that makes
Thank
sense.
you,
here,
Doug.
all right.
Thank you.
Wow.
My
Thank
point
you,
is,
junior
my point is,
co-host.
we all have experience. I am really into Pokemon Unite, for instance. We all have games that are serious competitive games we play, right? And in all of those games, have you ever heard of anyone, content creator, casual, whatever, anyone who's won fucking 200 matches in a row playing at top level?
No,
No.
never.
It literally cannot happen.
Not even 100.
Cannot happen. Not even 50. Yeah. I mean, 10 win streak. I feel like you got some of these guys that play like Grandmaster League or they play like Grandmaster Apex. They're lucky in a stream if they win 51% of their games. Like, it's hard.
Exactly.
Everybody's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
What are you not getting?
I
What
play Hunt.
mindset? You do. You're awesome at Hunt too. There you go.
I thought of one.
Yeah, Hunt's
Exactly.
sweaty.
And we don't win. I mean, one time we won like 5 games in a row. That was really sweet. And that
Yeah,
was like our
that's-
best. That
And
was
then,
our best
and then
ever.
we got destroyed.
For like 3
Right.
matches in a
Yeah.
row, right? Because our stupid MMR went up and we played against better people and then we
went
lost and we got to
went
play
to
against bads
4-star and
again.
regretted it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. I mean, I respect the competitive edge that DBD has been displaying lately, but I can never take it seriously when people post 200 win streaks like that. That flat out could not be possible in a game that was like properly balanced and fair and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It just wouldn't happen.
I remember
And-
that clown that had like a 500 win streak and then lost their shit on YouTube because
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
lost.
I mean, you could in a competitive game, you could actually have like a really long win streak, and that would be when you started playing on a fresh account up until you hit your true talent rank, like your true MMR, right?
Right.
Your true. Then all of a sudden, once you got in, because top
Top MMR.
Top.
sweatiest region, and you get in and you play, and then by the time you reach whatever, if you're a true gold or a true platinum, true diamond, whatever you are, you'd hit that, and then all of a sudden you'd start losing. Literally happened to me when I came back to Unite. I was like rolling through games, crunch. I got into like that platinum,
Maybe we
high
should start
platinum,
playing.
low diamond level.
Hmm.
What?
Maybe we should start playing.
I would love that. Oh my god, I need friends, bro. No, so you get to like that certain, and you start all of a sudden the matches get hard. People get better than you, and you're like, oh, this is where I belong now. Now I need to start improving. It's been really fun to like grind and try that. DBD, that doesn't happen. You'll go against one team who's practicing for the Chili's gift card, and then you'll go against the next team, and they're running like, how many flashbang saves can we get in one game? And then you'll go against another one where they brought their friend who just bought the game 2 months ago, and they're like, hey, we're going to show you how to
Yeah,
play
and-
DBD.
and, like, any
Chucky's
match-
in the game now.
Point. Yeah,
Oh, it's a
exactly.
Chucky. Yeah.
And any match can have like a 4-man Swift on comms, or it can have just people spending their evening chilling out playing their favorite horror game. They're like, they've got a burger in one hand, the other hand's on the mouse, they're trying to hit their skill checks, they don't give a shit.
I was
Yeah.
like, where's the other hand gonna be? On the mouse, right?
Whoa!
Yeah,
The new season's taking a turn. Oh my god!
This season's spicy. Spice
Yeah,
chill.
they're playing DBD, no hands are actually on the mouse or keyboard.
Maybe that's
then-
like related to what you guys say though. Like, you often say that if you really want a competitive game, you should go play something else, not DBD.
Yeah,
But Gary, in particular, you have this kind of theory that people play DBD because they aren't necessarily good enough to win at other competitive games. So
Right.
maybe that's why they have such like a warped perspective of like what a reasonable win rate is and what a win looks like, because they haven't
Yeah.
really played other competitive games enough to
Well, they
understand
probably
that.
have. They probably have. They've tried League of Legends and they got
And they're
squashed
just
like
crap
a
at it.
bug.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so they gave up. They went, oh, well, DBD gives this illusion that I'm skilled at the game. Like there's a fair,
Right.
there's a skill ceiling. It's got some ability to it, and then they think that means that they're good at a video game.
There was somebody on Twitter who got to the highest rank in Street Fighter 6, and he was like, I have a 40% win rate. Because you could do that in Street Fighter 6, the way it works.
Oh, I
It's
see.
like
So,
overall
when you,
his win rate.
when
was
you
40%.
win and you win big, you progress, right?
Yeah, you
Is
can
that
go
how it
up a
works?
lot, or if you
Okay.
like streak, you can get like a lot of points quickly, and then if you have like a loss here and there. But it was just like,
Gotcha.
it's so much more in fighting games. It's like it's expected that you're not going to like 100% crush the other person if you're better. You know,
Yeah.
there's like
Right.
it's so
Yeah.
quick. There's going to be some back and forth, and that's like normal.
Wasn't
For a
there another
competitive
example of the 400-hour person beating a blight? Oh no,
The
400
Oh,
blight.
the 400
Right,
yeah,
beating the
yeah.
comp team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, this can't happen in my game, dude. I can't lose to a 400-hour player. And it's like, you just did, bro. It's because it's
Good on
not a
that
balanced
Blight player.
game. Yeah, good for him too. Yeah, it's the thing is, you guys know the brain rot, like the brain rot issue when like
All too
a
well.
character. when a character comes out, like you guys know with like League and with other ones, like the model, the pay to win model, where they release a character super OP and it basically plays itself, and then everybody wants to play it, so it gets banned. This used to happen a lot in Heroes of the Storm. They would like release a character super overpowered. You guys remember? And they didn't do the whole. It wasn't that easy to get everybody banned out in that game. I remember there being like issues with getting new heroes banned in competitive, and so people will like play that character, and then they just win a bunch because it's like a busted character, and then they like get this brain rot. They like think that they're better than they are because they're just playing a busted character, and then that character gets nerfed and they drop back out of rank. I feel like brain rot kind of affects DBD like on the overall. I think a lot of people have a delusional feeling of how good they are. And somebody made a really good point about this from the comp community. They tweeted like some of these 4-mans that like think that they're really good should go against like an actual comp nurse with like no perks and add-ons and see how well they fare. Because these guys get convinced that because they stack 4 and they run all the meta perks and they're in comms, and they're again going against the same guys Gary's talking about. Dude's got a hamburger in his hand one match, and then the other guy's, you know, playing like his life depends on it.
Or friends just talking about their day, not listening out for like anything.
Yeah,
and
it happens on both sides, killer and survivor. They get this idea that they're like insane at the game, but really it's just because like the game is inherently imbalanced and
dare I say asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Wait.
Exactly.
Is that what asymmetrical means?
I have never known what that word means, but thank you for telling me. That's crazy. It's a big word. That's a Lloyd word for sure.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that. But that's the thing that MMR tries to fix in other competitive games. But like you guys just said, because Dead by Daylight is inherently, you know, some maps favor certain killers. You could come across a team that's like, you know, Elysium competitive, or you could come across Joe Schmo who came home from work and is chatting to his bros and just wants to do some gens. Like, there's a bit more mix, I would say, in the MMR of DBD, although I suppose the MMR change is what you guys are talking about earlier. People are more regularly going up against kind of sweatier teams or sweatier killers because they've changed the way the cap works. And then some people are just like, I'm tapping out now.
Well, yeah, no. If John came back to DBD and tried to play killer right now, you're absolutely going to be at the cap. You'd be at the cap. You'd go against the worst stuff, man. Like,
No, I did. I think I did 2 matches on the charity stream recently, and I just got wrecked as survivor, and I was just like, oh, this sucks. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm like, gone.
Yeah,
DBD sucks now. But yeah, I haven't even tried killer. But yeah, you're totally right. I would get 4 outed for sure.
Yeah, because like my MMR's all inflated because like when I used to play killer, like more often, I'm like chill. I'd go against solo queues, and I'm just, you know, not double hooking people, playing really relaxed. And now I'm like, oh, I'm against the god squads, and I'm out of my depth. I'm still trying to like spread the hooks out. I get 3 hooks. I turn around, all the gens are done, and they're like teabagging at the door. I'm like, oh.
When that cap was lower, you had a bigger pool, man. There was just more. You'd have some hard games. I saw you go against good squads, and I saw you go against guys who were kind of on cruise control, right? But that cap, when it goes up, it like brought you up with it because you were definitely at cap, and you just came up with the rest of the Chili's gift card squads, man. And that's just DBD now. That's just how you have to either learn to enjoy playing to win, learn to accept losing, or play other games, which is what I think a lot of guys in here are starting to do now.
There's a big reason for that with DBD though, and it's because DBD, unlike a lot of these other games, doesn't have like a unranked and ranked queue.
Yeah,
right.
There is the queue, and you can go against people who care about their MMR or people who don't.
The queue.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy because like they've had such a, you know, inflated player base for so long now. Like they've got, you know, with console probably like 50,000, 60,000 people usually playing.
At least, yeah.
At least. That's a conservative estimate. Like there's enough for there to be 2 queues, 2 ladders. We've talked about this before, but they haven't done anything like that.
I think they're worried to see how few people would play ranked.
I don't think so at all, bro. I actually am going to say, this is my tinfoil hat theory, is that they're talking about lights out mode, but I bet money that they go ranked, unranked by the end of this year.
Oh, because they've been teasing another mode,
they're teasing new game modes, right? And they're going to do lights out mode, which is going to be like a for fun mode. I would put my junior co-host against Lloyd's senior co-host that by the end of 2024, they'll have an unranked and a ranked queue in Dead by Daylight. There'll be a split. That'll come with a host of other problems and issues, I think, but I think that that's something that like they're going to end up having to do.
I think
And
it'd
then-
be interesting to have like rank-based matchmaking in ranked
Yeah,
instead of this hidden MMR like
Agreed.
nebulous who knows how it
Mhm.
works system that they
I would love
currently
that.
have.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
sweaty. I want to see my MMR and try and raise
I
it.
kind of.
Same,
I mean, if
same.
they did
Yeah, me
rank,
too.
I might come back to DBD and be like, "What rank can I get?" I
Yeah,
might do it.
see?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have that mentality, especially if you didn't feel like you had to do it, right? You could still play in pubs. You could still play and pubs. I mean,
Right.
people are like, well, everybody's just gonna sweat in pubs. They already fucking sweat in pubs. If
Exactly.
20% of the sweats move to rank, that's 20% less sweats in pubs.
Well, that's what I think would happen.
There you
I think
go.
most
You're
people
all
would
set.
stay in public, play in the general pool and be sweaty there. But you're right. Some people would get pulled out.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people. I think more than you think
You know-
would get pulled out. A lot of people.
I think a lot of the people that boast about their high MMR would be forced to make a decision to either shut
Yeah.
the fuck up
I-
or go play ranked.
Exactly.
I hope so hard that there's a ranked mode because there's certain people that play DBD that I'm like, let's see your rank. You keep talking
Yeah.
about being top MMR. Let's see the rank.
Yeah,
That'd be so good.
Let's see
I-
it.
That'd be so good.
I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
It would really be like a put up or shut up moment for a lot of people that talk tough. And then you could just tell people to shut up that complain about balance. Like, go play ranked if you care about balance. That's where they're balancing their
You're
game out.
platinum, bro. Sit down.
I just love. What are you most looking forward to with a ranked mode? Oh, the petty finding out what people's ranks are.
I want to see what
That's
rank true
the-
talent is.
True. I mean, he's high rank in a bunch of fighting games, so I'm sure he's high rank in DBD too.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He says he's high rank.
It depends on how the ranking is determined, I'm sure.
Right. So with all that being said, we talked all about
Kills or hooks.
competitive and balance and blah blah. We did want to talk about like some of the fun stuff they added in the game that people had a hard time enjoying because the game was a fucking slugfest.
Should
Jerry,
we
you were
talk
bringing up?
the Christmas event first, and then we can move
Yeah,
on
we
to
can
Chucky?
start with the event real quick.
Because
Oh,
the event,
yeah.
the Christmas event, I thought was pretty cool. I saw a lot of people complain about it on Twitter. The Christmas event, the Bone Chill, I think it was called.
Yeah.
There was new snowmen which could jump scare you.
Yeah.
And there was also you had the ability to throw snow skulls at each other, and you could earn a few points by throwing snowballs at the killer or other teammates. And I thought that was really fun. I saw a lot of people complaining, but I mean the snowmen were a bit pointless. I didn't really see people use them.
Yeah.
It's funny because like you're talking about the fun of it, and like my like ridiculous sweaty brain, I was like, you could farm so many points throwing snowballs at the scare snowmen. You got like a bunch. You got a bunch of points. You got like 1,500 or 2,000 points or something like that for throwing. I was like,
I think it was
literally
capped at 8,000 as what you could get from using the snowballs, but that's still pretty good, right?
Yeah, I would get the 8,000 every match, bro. I'd zone in immediately. I'd be like, I'm gonna get my tactical snowballs. I'm gonna go start finding snowmen. I'll touch gens later. I'm getting my points.
And
I
Tell
love
out.
that they made like a unique event with like the snowball thing, and they didn't just recycle the exact event from last year, which they've done before. In previous years, they've just been like, and it's the same event again. But I love that they're doing unique events now, like the one that they did for Halloween, where there was that dimension you could go to.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
Like that was a unique one. So I'm glad that they're doing that and making events more of an interesting thing. Than
Yeah.
They recycled last year's on DVD Mobile.
Oh,
It was the exact same one as last year on DVD Mobile. Yeah, it was funny. I was playing it. I was like, what?
Well, DVD Mobile needs a
Memories.
break.
Yeah, they get all the
they've been-
W's.
Yeah, they could take one L.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
game rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved the snowman. The amount of times that actually jumped me, I was kind of impressed.
Same, bro.
Yeah.
I was getting scared every day. I would jump, man. That was good stuff. The skins were really nice too. The Jeff skin especially.
The
was
Jeff
really,
skin was really nice.
And then-
I didn't
and
like
that's
that I
a
had to do the entire thing. I had to buy a Skull Merchant Frosty Eyes just to get the Jeff head.
Yeah, but I mean,
Ugh.
I know.
that's you. That's you being petty. But overall, for the player base,
Oh,
like
yeah.
pretty cool that they had a skin that was like money worthy for free in the event. That's something in the past they haven't always done. They've like put the good skins behind paywall.
Right.
And this time, the sweaters were, to me were like meh. It was like it was cool to get the new characters' sweaters, but
I will say, I thought Ripley's sweater was particularly disappointing.
I loved it. That's one of the few times Gary and I will disagree. This
Because I was like, there's no face.
loved
Like
it.
I was expecting a chest burster on the sweater.
Hmm.
That's what I thought we were going to get.
I just feel like
it's
Ripley's
just-
been
It
doing-
said the Nostromo and there was a star in the middle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's cute, but I wanted.
There's no nonsense. She's not a nonsense kind of gal, Gary. She's no nonsense.
I don't know.
Keep it simple. Beauty and simplicity.
That's
Gary
fair.
wants
It's
nonsense.
not
Gary-
bad. It's not
Gary,
a bad sweater.
Gary wanted one where when you teabag, thing came right out of the sweater.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be.
You saying you wouldn't prefer that?
Don't tease Gary
Oh, I
like
would-
that. You're
I
giving
would
him all the
love
stuff he
that,
wants.
Gary. That's how I knew you wanted it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Event
But
was
yeah,
cool.
like
Generally good event. Can't complain
Yeah.
really, even though people did. But I thought it was
You
good.
can't complain. DVD Twitter takes offense to that.
Yeah, yeah,
They can complain about everything.
But then we've got Chucky, the new
Chucky's
killer.
in the game.
Do you want to talk about him at all, Doug? Like,
yeah, I'd love to.
No,
you me?
yeah, like you talk about.
I'm
Chucky,
like
'cause I think
prestige, I'm like-
you've probably played him more than I have at this point.
I literally have hundreds of hours on him already. Like I've played nothing. I played like 80 or 90% Chucky since he came out. Lloyd, have you tried Chucky yet? Or have you just played Survivor against him?
I've played against Chucky. I don't really play
Okay.
Killer these days.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were still playing Killer or not. I know you play Survivor quite a bit. Yeah, so Chucky to me is a perfect DVD killer. And that is because, well, there's an asterisk to that. Because
Thank you.
I'm gonna agree with the DVD Twitter hive mind that the scamper under the pallet into slice and dice is like completely busted. This should not be a thing.
Okay.
I do this.
Okay.
I play him on stream, and I will literally be like, "This hit I'm about to get for 100% free shouldn't be able to happen," and then I do it anyways because I'm competitive. And they're not gonna go easy on me either. So, but yeah, he's very like his design is awesome. The aesthetic is awesome. The concept of the third person killer is awesome. The voice lines are great. The cosmetics are great. He's got the Bride of Chucky stitches. He's got the Tiffany cosmetic. The actual power feels great to use when it's used in like the blight fashion, like in an actual kind of fair fashion. I will agree that there either needs to be some sort of like cooldown on slice and dice after. I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy who fixes this kind of stuff, but I will say that I can see that it's a problem, and I don't think if something is not counterable at all, if there's literally nothing you can do, that's always been a problem in DVD's history. And that's how it is with Scamper Slice and Dice. There's literally nothing they can do to counter it.
Yeah.
They just go down. They just go down. It's a free hit. But otherwise, which again, I think they'll get that ironed out. I think they are aware, and I think people are making a lot of noise about it. Otherwise, I think he's fantastic. They pulled off kind of like a quasi stealth killer, but not a stealth killer. There's some interesting things you can do in mind games because he's so short. I've seen some survivors get pretty good at running a Chucky. I play him a lot, so people are doing well against him. Oh, what are your thoughts, Gary? I can see you're cooking.
I kind of hate how short he is. I feel like a lot of the time, especially with his ability, I forget what it's called.
Slice and dice or scamper?
No, is it scamper?
Oh, hidey ho.
That's it. Thank you,
yeah.
hidey ho.
Hidey ho.
When he goes into that mode and he hides his red stain, and he's so short, it's like it turns a lot of loops to me into a 50-50, where I'm not really doing anything.
A
I'm just-
50-50.
yeah.
I thought those didn't exist in DVD. That's crazy. I thought you were too good for 50-50s, Gary. I guess you found your kryptonite.
No, that's an actual 50-50.
So are the pallets. We'll revisit that. We'll revisit that during the next masquerade, bro.
But yeah, I just find that I don't really enjoy playing as him or against him as a result. I find that a lot of my chases I end up just going, I can see when a survivor just guesses wrong, and I don't get much out. Same reason I don't really enjoy Spirit. But Spirit's better, because there is some mind gaming to it. Whereas with Chucky, I just feel like a lot of it's just guesswork, and I don't feel that accomplished when I get a hit with him or when I get hit by him. I'm just like, oh well, I don't really know what else I could do there. I just kind of guessed wrong, and I don't really enjoy that about Chucky. But I do agree with everything else. Like I think the ghost, like the third person picking, I just think that's amazing.
Yeah.
The voice lines are all incredible. The aesthetics look amazing. I think it's a very clever idea. I think he's fairly balanced in fairness as well. I just find the loops to be a little bit unfun, which is always my issue. If I'm not having fun in a chase, like in that moment, it's like a deflating moment. Like everything's fun up until the fact where I get to a loop, and then suddenly he's like a very strong pig.
Yeah,
because pig actually you get to watch them choose a direction, and there's a bit of like a back and forth. Whereas Chucky, you don't get that.
I think we don't disagree. I think that you just don't prefer playing against like heavy mind game style killers where it's like less about like, because there's a lot of mind gaming involved with like like you said, which direction is he gonna go, which direction is he gonna go. I get a lot of I do a lot of pump fakes and and then I guess wrong a lot, and it's very frustrating, right? And then it's so I can literally see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
and I just think it's maybe like.
Yeah, it's definitely my preference.
It's just not for you.
Yeah, I love Pyramid Head, Death Slinger.
Yeah.
I like anything that I can do a clever Wesker. He's great.
Yeah.
Over the pallet he goes. It's fucking hilarious every time.
Skill shot killers.
Yeah.
And
That's
ironically enough, I think you would agree to like Wesker is stronger than Chucky, but like
Yes.
you get more direct interaction with how you're countering the power rather than it being like you said, like mind gaming behind a wall and like figuring out like which direction they're going to choose to go from and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more like a chess match with Chucky, whereas with the killer that's like more overt about how they use their power, it's more like direct interaction. I can totally see that. I understand that completely. Yeah. And that's kind of what keeps Chucky, I think, from being in a lower tier than like some of the S tiers, is that like he doesn't have any, he has like no built-in slowdown, he has no map control, and he has a lot of his stuff comes down to like deep mind games and a lot of 50-50s, like you said. So
Yeah.
it's not for everybody.
And he's a 110 killer, so he is slow.
True. I do think one thing that I get from the general player base is that their only complaint about him is the scamper slice and dice, like the unjukable hit. So I'll be interested to see what happens when they almost surely change that, to see if people still. It's kind of like with Skull Merchant, right? Skull Merchant was like the most hated killer in DBD, and then they changed her up, and people like still hate her no matter what.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't matter. Like it's too late for her. It's too late for Knight. It's too late for her. Like they're just hated forever now.
Sadako as well.
They just suck.
Sadako, yeah, true.
Sadako, yeah.
So I wonder if Chucky will just be hated forever no matter what they do.
Are they changing Sadako again? I think I read
Yes,
something about
Sadako's getting
in
another
the-
rework.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't worry, she'll still be miserable.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
I didn't play her on the PTB. I just played Billy and Alan Wake. I didn't try. So
How's the new Billy? Because Billy got reworked.
Oh, we'll get to that.
There's no overheat.
Is that happening now, or are we gonna get to that now?
Yeah, we can move because like Chucky's perks. Do we really care?
Nah.
I had a lot of fun with batteries included today.
Batteries included is a fun perk. I like that
I
perk.
was running.
That's the one I hear about. Batteries included.
Yeah, it's the one that gives you 5% extra movement speed by completed gens.
Right.
It does work. It does work at endgame. So I was stacking on Shoe Hag. I had batteries included. I had Noed, obviously,
Right.
and then I had Rapid Brutality,
Wow.
which is 5% off of the M1.
Yeah.
Right?
So you were
And
zooming.
then- Yeah, I was and then I'd say the best for last. So I was just screaming on Hag. It was really fun. I had more people come to my chat and tell me that they had a blast on that game than I've ever had. Like people were coming to chat after a game to be like, dude, that was so fun. You were so fast, bro. And I'm like, oh, awesome. It was awesome. I
Little
know.
speed demon.
I know. I'm a running man. No. But then I tried it on Chucky and it was terrible because he's 110. FYI, don't do that on Chucky. It will not be.
But yeah, outside of Chucky, there has been a new PTB. There is new things being tested at the moment, including a new survivor.
Who's the
Alan
survivor?
Wake.
Alan Wake!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I need to
It's
play
a lake of an ocean. Does he say that at any point?
it. No, I haven't heard that line, but I will say the lines he does say, I think, are the best voice work they've done.
I'm a rider. Does he say that?
No.
Damn.
Like,
Like the
missing
two
out on some of the
lines he doesn't
classics.
say.
No, it's nice because he doesn't say too much. Like with Nick Cage, he drives you a bit mad after a while. You're playing for a day, and you're like, shut up, Nick. I'm trying to play the game. Shut up. I'm trying to listen.
Especially when he's playing against Sadako and he goes on his little Sadako rants.
Yeah. Whereas like Alan Wake, this is my favorite thing about Alan Wake, and the reason that I might play him quite frequently is when he gets healed, he says thanks.
Really?
Yeah.
What a lovely chap.
And he just
That's
says
cool.
and he just says okay occasionally to things. Like those are his lines.
Yeah.
He just says very short little scripts, which I hope they take that and put it on all their original survivors and stuff. I think I would like to see
More
very
voice lines would be-
generic lines on everyone.
I
that'd be
saw
cool.
a clip on Twitter where Alan Wake was getting picked up by a Legion and he was like, "Dear God, somebody help
Oh,
me!"
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!"
It's great.
He was like
Yeah.
really going for it.
And
So good.
he's the first character I've seen who gets hooked, and then like after his initial scream, will carry on screaming. He'll just do another scream. He'll be like, "Please God help me!" And it's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this
That's
is so
awesome.
cool. Yeah,
The voice
I-
actor
I-
went for it.
yeah.
There's a tweet, I'll send it to you, John. There's a tweet where somebody has like all of his voice lines in a row. You can just hear them all without having
Oh,
to play the
great.
game or anything. And they were like, this guy put on like an Oscar-worthy performance because they got the original voice actor. Whatever.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And they were like, it's better than any of his voice work in the previous games. Even. It's like 10 out of 10
Oh.
voice work. So
It's really good.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, normally, sometimes they get, like the original voice actor for Hellraiser. Doug Jones is his name?
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley, yeah.
Doug Bradley. Okay, Doug
Right.
Jones is somebody else. I think that's
know.
like the Guillermo del Toro guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like most of the time they just have either amateur voice actors or just somebody around the studio that does the voices. So I think it really makes it stand out when you got the Alan Wake voice actor like really dialing it in on these for sure.
Well, it came right after Brad Dourif did the voice acting for Chucky, and Jennifer Tilly did the voice acting for Tiffany too. So it's like, man, they're slamming the voice actors right now. It's awesome.
I love that they've been going that direction for sure. I
Uh,
remember it was a big deal when Nemesis said stores when he
God,
pulled
yeah.
out of a locker. We were like, whoa!
Last thing on the subject too, I know we hate leaks here and we don't talk about it, but there has been some data mine information that implies that they might be adding voice lines in for older survivors that are previously released.
Ooh, cool. That's
So-
cool.
Hell
So,
yeah.
So Garrett, you mentioned
good
you would
leak.
want that. So
Yes,
Did you see that from a tweet about Dwight?
that's not the one I'm talking about. I know which one
Okay,
you're talking about.
Because
You're
there
talking
was
about-
one that was supposed to be
that's
like, oh my god,
really funny.
Dwight's getting voice lines, and then I clicked
Yeah.
on it, and it was just like, we gotta do the gens. And I
Yeah,
was like,
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
that.
so
It was just
good. That was
somebody
a
to laugh,
10.
yeah.
That was a 10 out of
Guys.
10. 10 out of 10 tweet for sure. But that one was
Yeah.
poking fun at the idea. But yeah, they actually did. And again, that doesn't mean anything's confirmed. They've data mined a lot of stuff that never came to the game. I mean, hell, Baber says stuff's coming to the game and it doesn't come to the game. You never know what's going to come to the game, but it implies that it's at least on the table. Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about cross progression, bro. I can't believe it, bro. They promised me they promised me cross progression for my Switch, and now I'm out here in the fucking trenches leveling my Switch account with no perks, man.
I do.
Drives me
Like,
mad.
I don't want to go into too much about prattling on about the perks, but there's one that I think is worth definitely talking about because I think it's excellent.
The
I think it's
flashlight
so
one?
funny. Yeah, Champion of Light. It's called 50% haste when shining your flashlight, and then if you blind the killer, they suffer from a 20% hinder for 6 seconds.
They're not
It's
gonna like
amazing.
being slower,
So funny,
Dude, there's gonna be so many tilted killers.
Like
Oh,
I started
man.
blinding them
They're
while they were
already
hooking
are, I'm
people, just because it's funny. Blast.
John, I
It
know-
works on Blast Mine as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Uh,
I don't know if it's supposed to though. It specifically says flashlight on the perk description, doesn't it?
Oh.
And so I don't know if that.
Don't know if it says flashlight blinded. Maybe
I
it
swear,
does.
this could be like me having.
But I love that it works
I
on
might-
Blast
I might be
Mine.
wrong.
I hope they don't take that away. 'cause
It
that's
should
hilarious
work
to
on
me.
Does
Blast
it?
Mine.
Doesn't Residual Manifest also work on Blast Mine, or am I wrong on that?
So
I
I'm
know.
looking
Couldn't
at
tell you.
the
Couldn't
I'm
tell
looking
you.
at the wiki right now, and it says successfully blinding the killer with your flashlight causes them to suffer from hindered.
I hope they take that word out because Blast Mine. It's too funny to watch them like get Blast Mine, which is funny anyway, and then they stumble away slower.
Shuffle away like. "Ugh." Yo, so John, I know you've been away. I know you've been away for a while, bro. But like now's the time. I mean, you young family, you got time. You need to invest your stonks in Lightborn. You need to go buy Lightborn right now because that baby's about to go on fire.
Wait, it's no
when the
longer
patch
cringe
comes out.
to run Lightborn?
With this new perk, no. I mean, I ran Lightborn earlier today, but I feel like Lightborn is gonna be. It's gonna be big.
You could
Okay.
the 50% speed increase is nuts. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
really funny.
You feel it, man.
Yeah,
It's
you feel
insane.
fast.
It's really fun. I played with it. It was very fun.
I hope they don't nerf that perk too much. I hope they
I hope
kind of.
so. I hope they leave it completely alone. That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah,
hope.
yeah. I've just added to the chaos. Bring back
Lightborn
older
is in the
option.
game. If you don't want to deal with it, run Lightborn. Sorry, you can't have a fourth slowdown, Doug. You need to run Lightborn now. You know?
You can have a fourth slowdown if you run Pinhead.
true. But yeah, outside of that, there's been changes to Billy, Sadako. Wasn't there a third killer that had some changes?
Blight got
Blight's
Blight got
add-on.
the
He got
add-ons.
Alchemist Ring's
Add-
gone, yeah.
add-on rework, and they accidentally broke him on the PTV. So the stuff that he can do, all this like I don't know exactly. I didn't play.
I
it.
saw-
Oh, he can
I
turn
saw a
crazy
clip.
corners now, can't
Yeah,
he?
he can do like
going nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, like full 180. Like you can like basically you can do one of the techs. Like I can't remember which tech it is.
I saw someone bobbing and weaving around a killer shack.
Yeah, they can just go around the shack in a circle. Like he can just spin around. He can just slide around it forever. They broke. I think they broke the cap on the flick radius. Like you know how they capped the Oni's flick and they capped Chucky's
Right.
flick. Like was what they can do on a controller. I think they broke that on Blight, and he can just like endlessly flick. So people are putting clips out that are obscene. which I don't see that making it to live. But
I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I feel like
I
the
can't
Blight-
wait for like B tier Blight. I can't wait for that to be a thing.
He won't be beat. He's still gonna be A.
He's still gonna be the
probably
best.
S. Probably
He's still
S.
gonna be the
Damn.
best.
Yeah, probably
He'll
top.
still be the best killer in the game, probably. Yeah,
You know,
he's still...
it's funny not playing the game and just reading people's takes on Twitter, because from those I was like, oh, did they really nerf Blight that hard? Because that's
No.
what they're saying.
No,
No.
he's
They're
fine.
full of shit, huh?
He's
As
fine.
always.
No.
As always. There's
It's the
F
same-
tier now. F tier Blight.
Same shit as the nurse, right? Like, okay, so now he won't win as hard, but he'll still always win if he's good.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Literally
He's-
unplayable.
Yeah, he's still
Right.
stronger
Yeah.
than Spirit. Like,
Yep. For sure. Without
Mm.
question.
Okay.
Do you really like the killer, or do you just like the fact that he's strong? That's what I want to see.
Ooh.
Do you just like the fact that it's an S tier killer? Because if
Or-
you really like Blight, maybe you should stick with him.
or option C, they're just desperate for some engagement, and they think moaning is the only way they can get it.
Nobody
Or
does
C,
that on Twitter.
Gary makes up a guy.
No, Gary, Gary,
exactly at the guy.
Gary, that was a Twitter problem. It's X now. People don't do that.
Oh,
okay?
you're right. Yeah, it's been reimagined.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Innovation.
I played a bit of Sadako. Well, I played one match of Sadako, and it was boring. I didn't play against any on the PTV. All Billies and Blights, and one Huntress, and a Nurse, which I DC'd against.
Oh my
Um,
god. There's always one, isn't there?
Yeah, the Huntress had a terrible match though. We just crushed her.
Good.
But
That's what you get, dude.
Good. Yeah. You playing
Enjoy-
Hunters on the PTV? Fuck
Enjoy
you.
your 10-minute queue, bitch.
yeah,
See you
I
later.
thought it was surprising to see no Sadakos being played though. So people aren't that interested in playing as reworked Sadako at least. I thought the fun spoilers would be out because Sadako is a fun spoiling killer, and people love.
I mean,
being bastards.
Billy is like one of the most celebrated killers in the entire history of DBD,
Hmm.
right? So I imagine that was like where all the energy went, was just like, we gotta play the
it
real
was
Billy.
It was a lot of Billies. It was a lot of Billies. But
Yeah.
I'll talk about Sadako briefly, just because then we can move on to Billy, who's a much more interesting topic. But Sadako, basically, she's kind of going to feel more like her old self, where you have to go across the map to go put your tapes in the telly. But when you get hooked when you have a certain amount of condemned, that becomes locked in. So if you get hooked when you have condemned, that is permanently stacked. You can never get rid of it. So
Oh god.
I think she sounds more like she's another shade of brown, where you're now forced to go do the videotape thing.
Yeah.
It's just,
But
I'd rather face Legion and be mending. I don't like being. It's like, you know, with Freddy when you have to go wake up. It's being forced to do that.
right.
didn't they make it though? So teleporting doesn't add condemned anymore, or like there's a cap on how much it adds, because like
It has a range. I think it's 16 meters on.
oh okay, yeah.
On televisions that you're near. Yeah.
So she can't
but-
just like spam like she did before and then
Okay,
slug
good.
people and force them to just have all this condemned forever.
No.
A.
I
And then
hated
B,
that.
you don't get extra condemned when you're hit with a tape anymore.
No, that's gone as well.
So like I think what they did is they still made her miserable, but instead of like being slugged all the time, now you're just gonna get tunneled all the time.
Yeah. As I say,
They're just
different
gonna-
shade of brown. Different
Yeah.
shade of brown.
Yeah, it's not gonna fit. It's kind of similar with the Skull Merchant thing we saw. Like now she doesn't 3-gen. Now she just has ways to make it so you can't win a chase. You just get stuck in a loop and you die.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of annoying, you know, that they didn't really address the core issue, which is that she's not fun to play against. They just made her unfun in a different way.
Yeah, because I
And
played
then
it
I think-
and I found her boring in the exact same way. I was like, I'm just teleport, because she has no cooldown on teleporting now, so she can teleport to all 7 of her tellies in quick succession.
Yeah. And I think that the reason why you're not seeing a lot of Sadakos on the PTV is because a lot of people didn't buy the killer, or the ones that did buy it and played it only played it because they had the brain rot bill where they could just slug you out and condemn everybody, and they didn't actually have to play the game DVD.
Well, on the
right?
PTV they have access to all, don't they?
Oh, I'm just saying, like the people that did it, that bought that
Oh,
people
okay.
people that are on live probably. I don't know if they have access to all. Actually, that's crazy. I've never even thought about that.
I think
But
PTV
I've
you
always-
have access to everything. I thought.
That makes sense. But what I was getting at more was that the people that play Sadako on live don't want to play the new version of Sadako because they don't care. They wanted to make people's times miserable, and they wanted to slug
Hmm.
everybody and condemn
Maybe,
them,
yeah.
and then get profile comments. And now they're not going to get that anymore. So they're like, okay, well, I'll go play the new thing that's broken.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
They'll play-
Sadako.
instead of playing Sadako on PTV, they'll play Skull Merchant on live. All right.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy. I thought Doug, you would jump in there.
Oh,
it's very exciting.
I've been talking a lot, but I am so excited about Billy, dude. Billy is like back as he could ever get. So what they did is they got rid of overheat in the sense that like overheating doesn't break your chainsaw. Overheating powers your chainsaw up for overdrive, which makes you go like lightning fast.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. It's super fun. It's got counterplay. His add-ons might need a little tweaking because I think they went a little heavy-handed on some of the higher tier add-ons.
Yeah, the Eerie add-on, isn't it like crazy how fast he goes?
Yeah, he goes like lightning fast, and you can pair it with what's it called? Low pro chains, and you just like it's like a guaranteed hit at a pallet if they throw it. You shoot through the pallet and whack them no matter what. So kind of similar to the Chucky problem. It's a guaranteed hit, which is not fun for anybody or fair for anybody.
But he also comes awesome. when he goes into overdrive, it plays a really nice sound notification, which makes my brain happy. And it's got a blue fire effect on it, which looks dope.
Oh,
I've seen that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, he's not even, people are freaking out on Twitter. Like there are people posting like these insane clips, like he's gonna be broken, he can't go live like this. And the reality is, the people that are smart, like the smart people that play the game and that are good at it, are like, yeah, he's like not even A tier probably. He's still got the same limitations he had before. He just has more. There's more fun, and there's not all the micromanaging. You're not micromanaging a debuff. You're micromanaging a buff, which is way more fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, to be like,
absolutely.
okay. So.
And maybe it's okay if he's not completely hot dog water anymore, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
He's only his time.
He spent his time in timeout for years, so
Let's
he's
have him
back.
back.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we move on to something that isn't Dead by Daylight?
Oh yes, please.
It's about time the new guy. It's about time the new guy made a suggestion.
We had to
right?
cover two chapter releases.
That's true. You catch up a little bit here.
Yeah. Should we talk about a game close to all of our hearts? Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No.
This is not what I wanted to move on to.
Guys,
I was like Lethal Company or something.
No, Doug's gonna talk for like 15 minutes.
No, I'm not. I'm
I'm
not. I'm not.
I'm just joking.
Unless you want me to, because I could. I love it. No, yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, I think it's a sore subject for one of the people in here. So
I think it's sore for a lot of people in here, isn't it?
I feel like, well, I don't think it's like as sore. I think you guys like kind of like, I think Gary and John are like, oh man, TCM, what a shame. But I feel like,
that's not what I think John thinks. John hates it.
Well, I wouldn't say I hate it.
You thrive on it.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say I thrive. What?
I think
Gary?
Sino really hates Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Look at him. Sino's angry, stewing right now.
I think that's a little rich considering that I was the only one that actually played the DLC and bought both the characters compared to John and Gary. That you say that I'm the one that hates it the most?
Well, all I'm going to say, Lloyd, is that neither of them attacked me on Christmas for playing the game, is all I'm going to say. So
that's because I wanted something better for you.
That's true, and I play Pokemon now, so we're fine.
Yeah, now he plays Pokemon Unite. A real game. No, just kidding.
Our first controversy.
I just don't
First scandal.
I just thought it was funny.
They said that they're coming out with new content up until August, Doug. Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
have they said anything about what type of content it'll be?
Yeah, they got new maps, new characters, a Danny rebalance, a Johnny complete rework, and is all confirmed like from the devs. That's what's on the docket. And they've got.
Have they shown anything?
Nothing.
About the new stuff.
Nothing. All we have is words. And I want to remind you.
They've been on holiday. It's been Christmas. What do you want them to do?
Are you against spending time with your family on Christmas?
Yeah. I'd like to remind you all that the characters Danny and Nancy were leaked on the technical test that happened prior to the game's launch, and they did not come to the live game until what, November?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the pacing looks like, but it's possible that they talked to Bloody Disgusting, right? They had the interview. You said it was with Andy Cleaves, and they said that
I don't know if I think they just took information that he quotes from him talking on in answering other questions.
Oh, was it? Did they do a test
stream
that I missed? I must have.
I think so. Yeah, because like for example, when they were asked about skins, characters, and levels, the response was all coming.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So I wonder if, because they mentioned that they're like, we have plans for content through the month of August, and after that, we're going to assess the future of the game's development. based on the player numbers, based on all the hidden metrics, the MMRs, if you will, internally. So we don't really know anything other than a
I feel
Danny
like we
rework.
know.
And yeah,
When they say they're
So-
going to assess the game,
Yeah.
that sounds to me like they've already kind of resigned themselves to, yeah, we'll shut the game down about then.
Yeah, it's like being on the Titanic and going, I'll just go check the lifeboats. I'll go
think-
check, make sure they're okay.
One of my biggest issues with the game is that they felt very checked out ever since the game launched, which I don't understand. Like, I understand the trauma of what happened to Friday the 13th, and they don't want to go through that again, but they just felt very checked out to me, and that just, they're gonna reassess the game in what August? Like, it seems like that was the plan all along.
This
It's
is a
like,
roadmap.
well, we'll just see how it goes. That's not a roadmap exactly.
no,
Like,
and
we'll add stuff, but we're not going to say roughly when it is. We're not going to say what it is, apart from reworks for the characters already exist.
yeah.
So
It's a bad sign, right? So here's
I
my
don't know.
theory. Here's what I've been thinking, and this is what I've been talking about with anybody who will listen to me, is I think we'll know whether your theory about them being checked out is true once they actually physically announce what's coming to the game in the next month or two. Because I think if they're making changes to the game that are like longevity changes, like they're rebalancing perks, they're changing how the progression system that is god-awful works, they're increasing player level, if they're doing things that give me the impression that the game is growing and moving forward, then I'll be like, okay, I'll cross my fingers that we'll make it past August. If they're DLC skins, they're DLC characters, if it's all paid stuff, I think that this game is done in August for development. They'll probably keep the servers up.
and that's
Right.
Doug saying that.
And that's me saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And I don't give up on games, but that's the thing. I want to see some sort of announcement of something that's going to matter beyond being sold on Steam. Like something that's actually
Yeah,
going to change
like-
the way the game is played, like moving forward.
I have experience with this with Resident Evil Resistance, where it became very clear that the Neobards had been given certain assets by Capcom, but then like no more. They couldn't add
Mhm.
more. So everything that kept coming out was like a retool of something that already existed. Like you can add different guns on your camera, or you can spawn a zombie that's already poisoned, or blah blah blah.
Right.
And it's like you can sort of tell after a while when a company can't make new assets for the game that it's like they can only just retool what they've already got until it like dies, basically the project. And that's kind of the vibe I was getting from TCM was we've done a bunch of cosmetics where it's like different textures on shirts. We've done the bloody cosmetic. We've got one or two things, but it's like the only characters that we've had have been like leaked from since before the game came out. So this is a big
Right.
test, right? Are they actually going to make new assets now, or is this kind of like we've made our money, the project ends around August?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking for like, them to be like, here's our 5-year roadmap for this game to last forever, but it is hard for me to get invested in a game that it feels like the developers aren't really invested in the future. Or
So much other stuff to play.
exactly. Yeah. That's the
Pokemon
thing. It's
Unite.
like it's really competitive out there. I feel like they've kind of taken that for granted, that there's so much competition, there's so many other games to play. Like, why should I play your game, right? And so like I played it for a while, but then I'm kind of done now. Yeah.
And a lot of the ASIM adjacent games, that kind of like seem like they would have similar player bases, like the Phasmophobias and the Outlast Trials. Those games are continuing to pump out exciting new stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not like people are like, well, I either got to play DVD. They're not like stuck playing TCSM if they don't want to play DVD. There's a number of games. Lethal Company, like we're going to talk about that later. That's on fire right now. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
This isn't a year or two ago when you had DVD or nothing. Like there are other games that people are like
Exactly.
invested in playing. So
And Outlast Trials came out before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I've revisited Outlast Trials. Like, we just played it, the four of us, the other day.
yeah,
And that was the first time I played it in like a month. But like, even then I revisited for the Halloween event in that game. I played it like randomly in like, I think November, like late November or something, just on a whim. Like, I want to play some Outlast Trials, and I played it. And the fact that game is still like getting me to come back to it, and because they've been updating it, and it feels like things are happening and things are kind of thriving and moving over there. That speaks a lot to its success, I think. There was like 2,000 people online the other day. That's kind of unheard of for a game that's like it came out last May. It's a horror game. Like, Outlast is kind of a big IP, but not really. And they've only had a couple of content updates, but they're still going strong.
It's worth noting that of all the games that, except Propnight, which is dead, that we've spoken about today, Texas Chainsaw is the only one that didn't have a Christmas event.
Yeah.
Or a Halloween event.
That's not true. They blessed us with double experience on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after. That's literally was the. You're welcome, guys.
3 days of double XP during the days when people aren't playing video games; they're spending time with their fucking families.
Like 98% of gamers,
which I thought they would understand because their whole thing is spending time with their families.
Double XP on Christmas Eve, Christmas, and Boxing Day. Great.
Yeah.
The 3 days most people are busy.
I tried grinding XP and I got attacked, so I don't know. It's dangerous out there, bro. Like,
I messaged Dog on Christmas because he was playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I said to him, maybe you should do something else with your time. Okay, there's the crime that I did.
It was a health and comfort check. He was worried about me, and I appreciate that.
I was concerned.
I love that. It's very funny to bring up continually, and that's one of my bits, and you know that. But yeah, jokes aside, like that was literally like an insulting, I think. They would have been better off, I think, either just not doing anything. XP in that game is not worth a whole lot because once you get the characters you want leveled up, you don't really need it anymore. You don't need to have everything unlocked, right? And so like you really don't gain anything by the double XP. Like there's no reason they couldn't just double the XP in general at this point, and it would mean nothing. I think it mean very little.
They could just let you have everything unlocked from the get-go and it would change nothing.
Right.
I think it's always good in these games to be more generous than you feel like you have to be, and make things as unlimited or let people go as crazy with it as they want.
Yeah.
And with TCM, it's like they have the exact opposite mentality with it, with the level cap, and I don't know, it's too restrictive.
They want to be limiting, and then it's they want to be different. I think they're just so desperate to be different that they're holding on to some things just to be different. And
yeah, I agree. That's pretentious.
Well, I wouldn't use the P word, Gary, because I don't know what it means.
The P word.
But I will say that they're holding on to some really, really bad stuff. The lobbies, by the way, the servers are still a mess. Like there's still really bad issues with backfill. Trying to play solo victim right now is like while I was suffering on Christmas Day, I had 5 matches in a row. Time out in the lobby trying to play victim solo. 5 in a row.
In their defense, that is like the first thing they said they're going to focus on fixing.
It is, yeah. And that's the number one priority they said right now, which is great. That's what they should be focused on because that is going to be the number one
playable
thing that's
game,
drive people away.
for sure.
Yeah.
That should be the number one priority.
But I think we agree at this point that the next couple of months are going to basically be the do or die. I think there's some people that are more convinced that it's over already, and there's some people that are convinced maybe they're holding on to a glimmer of hope, myself. But
I think my problem is I don't care. Like even if they add shit, I'd rather play something else now.
Yeah. I made jokes about you hating it because I think, and I was making that joke because I know how much you were passionate about it when it came out. You were really excited about it. You invested a lot, made a lot of great content in the game, thanks. And we had a lot of fun playing together. Like it was great, and I think it hurt you more than it hurt anyone else in this room when they kind of didn't deliver on their promises, right?
Yeah, well, I really wanted something else. Another ASIM to play because I like DBD, but I don't think I'll ever be like a DBD streamer again. So I was like, something that has like a good studio behind it, looks really cool, and we had such a great time playing it at first. So I wouldn't say I'm angry. I've just kind of like I've had my fun with it, but now I'm a bit like even if they add new characters now,
right?
I could play League of Legends.
I'm angry at them.
Exactly.
Yeah, Gary, you've been taking the cattiest swipes. I would
now. There's no reason this game shouldn't be succeeding. There's absolutely no reason it shouldn't be doing well.
That's the most frustrating part
aside
for
from
me.
Gun being unable to manage a video game.
Because they've got a huge IP, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like they had a great launch. The content that was in the game at launch was great. Had a good atmosphere. The assets looked amazing. Like they had everything lined up. Yeah, that's what's so disappointing.
More time spent in an office figuring out fundamentals of game design and less time buying magazines on eBay might have saved the game. How about that?
Gary's referring to the shirt cosmetics that they added for the characters that they said took 2 months or something to make because they had to buy magazines on eBay to get like authentic 70s fashion.
Right.
That's
People
Lewis.
were saying-
They're very defensive on social media, are they not? They're very very defensive.
Yes.
Yeah, they always feel like they have to
Which-
justify it.
Can I just say I understand it to a point, but it does make it a lot easier to root against them.
Yeah.
To see how defensive they are about it. Because like if they were more, it would be a lot more. It would be easier to be sympathetic towards them if they changed their online demeanor.
Can you imagine? So we all saw the tweet where a content creator in the TCSM space asked if they were going to be holding on to their promise that they were going to have big updates every 6 weeks, and then he was very upset that they said no because they were off for the holiday, right? Can you imagine if their response to that had been like, "Hey, we hear your concern. We know that some of the things are in the game right now that we need to work on. We were out for the holidays. It's our top priority. We're back in the office. We're back in the studio. We're listening. We're working on it." That right there is literally all you have to say, and it's the exact same thing that's actually happening. But like when they come back and like counterattack that criticism, I think it just like makes people feel like they don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they should stop putting the
Yeah.
middle finger up to people that believed in their project.
People that are investing hundreds of hours into creating content
And money.
caring about their project and money in the DLCs. Yeah. Some of these people are playing in tournaments in their game even.
Yeah,
You know?
because what Doug's referring to here is the tone that the developers had was, oh, we're literally not even allowed to have Christmas holidays and spend time with our family now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And-
That's how they responded. It's like,
Yeah.
we were spending time with our families.
It's very aggressive and defensive and very dismissive. And it's like, you can think that stuff. You're going to think that stuff. In a professional setting, you'll have those thoughts, those dark thoughts will happen all the time. But the
Right.
reality is like your professional frontward facing gaming company, like maybe don't unload that on people. Like, does that, I can see maybe it's cathartic. And I know they put up with a lot of shit. I'm not even acting like they don't put up with a lot of shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we all get it. Yeah.
But it's not going to change. You going on that tangent isn't going to make people like, wow. If you're a person who thinks that a game developer is not a human being and they should just be in the office 18 hours a day making the game, a long-winded self-defense rant isn't going to change their mind. They're not going to stop tweeting at you. They're not going to delete their Reddit account in shame, because you made them because you made them feel guilty about taking the holiday with your family. Like,
Yeah.
they don't care, and they're never going to care. So why even? I made this comment the other day on stream. Like, as soon as you acknowledge the thing that they said, it makes it real because you're defending it. Whether it's true or not, it's now real. It wasn't real before. It was just a person on the internet ranting. And then when you came back and argued with them, you made the thing real. Now you're defending a thing.
I just remember when they did their very early stream about the meta. They were going to talk about how you unlocked things and stuff. And I remember watching that, and it was very boring. But I remember them, I think it was Wes who kept arguing with chat because they kept asking for gameplay. And he kept like putting them down, saying, no, it's not going to be gameplay. You don't understand. This is about meta. This is about this. I was like, stop answering it.
Right.
Like, why are you
Just
arguing with
ignore
chat
it.
that are being annoying? Like, just move on. You're clearly getting annoyed by it. Just stop talking about it.
They need a streamer. They need a streamer to like coach them on how to.
They needed a community manager.
I was about to say,
That's what
are
they
you
needed.
describing a community manager, perhaps?
Yeah, they could use one of those.
Someone who could run the
Because
Reddit, maybe, that
'Cause
wasn't
even VHS, they were a little cunty at first, right? When they first came out, they were like, "Oh, here we are," but then like they figured their place out pretty fast and stopped going after these people online. They just started doing their own thing, and they eventually died anyways. But
Yeah.
at a minimum, they weren't.
I think
like, riling up their user base.
I've noticed with a lot of these asymmetrical horror games that eventually, well, sooner rather than later, die, they tend to come out of the gate with an attitude.
Yeah.
Like VHS you're talking about, and then TCM, I'm noticing some similarities here. There's this like, chip on their shoulder a little bit. And like I keep saying, it's like, I don't think you guys realize like how competitive is it out there and how easy it is to just drop your game and play something else.
Yeah.
Especially,
It's like, yeah.
you could root for the underdog. People want to root for the underdog, and that's what you are if you're not
That's what I'm
DBD in
saying.
the space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted them to succeed. Everyone.
That's one reason we were all like, we talked about it for months on the podcast about how we were excited for TCM to get in there and not, not necessarily like go toe to toe with DVD or compete with them really, but to provide a different experience in the same genre that was going to be high quality, that had like industry pedigree with the same devs behind Friday the 13th. Like all signs pointed to good. So we were all rooting for them at the beginning.
It's not over. There's 2 minutes left on the clock.
I think we're in the fourth quarter, but Doug,
we're in the fourth. No, we're in the fourth quarter. No. This is not we're not reduxing VHS. All right, I've been hurt, and now I understand the reality of the situation. Right. I think we're in the fourth quarter. I think it's the 2 minute warning. I think we got one timeout left for all you geeks and nerds out there. I'm talking about football. No, I'm capping.
I haven't got a clue.
Yeah. So basically, we're down to the wire. And these next couple plays that they make are going to decide whether or not they have a chance to win, or if they're just quitting, if they're just kneeling and going home.
So I'll admit I'm a bit of a pessimist here, but I think they lost it when they didn't do a Halloween event.
You call?
I agree.
There's been a lot of clairvoyance on the Spine Chill squad so far because Gary called the issues with their PR, they're being condescending and dismissive and unprofessional.
Before the game was out. Before
the technical test came out, he was clocking them being like, wow, right? They're pretty arrogant for a team that hasn't released a game yet. And it's sort of continued. And then John, when Halloween came and gone, John said, like, no Halloween event, no game. This is dead. They killed themselves in game.
Well, it's just such an obvious thing to do. Why would they not do it? Anyway, I don't want to keep being the dead horse, but yeah.
Well, you have to look at the Steam player base. I mean, I know we can't see the console, but the Steam player base is dropping. Like it's going down. Like it's looking closer and closer to Propnight numbers.
I know when I play, I very rarely will have more than one other PC player in the entire lobby of 7. Like occasionally you'll get like a 4 stack on victim side or a 3 stack on PC side or on family side, but it's like it feels like it's like 70% PlayStation, 20% Xbox, and like 10% PC.
I can only imagine mic quality has gone to shit.
Oh, it's horrific.
Terrible.
The telenovelas I've heard in the background. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. But
as long as you can still hear the slurs.
What's loud and clear. Did they give the game away on PlayStation? Was it for free on PlayStation?
It's probably on PlayStation Plus or something.
Did they ever do that? Because one thing I've noticed that I thought was peculiar last time I was streaming it is that it's so many more people on PlayStation than Xbox, but Xbox has it on Game Pass. So it's Game Pass, free. Yeah. It's like free for Xbox.
Is it still on Game Pass?
I think it's permanent.
Yeah, I think it's on Game Pass.
Wow.
Those games usually just stay there. They don't usually take games off of Game Pass very often. I think it's a big deal when they do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that all of us, myself included, are pessimistic about. I don't know, man. If the next update's a banger, and they're like, hey, we're raising the level cap, the player level, we're adding we got these 2 new characters we want to show off. Last year has teased more in-game content for this coming year than Texas Chainsaw Massacre has.
Wow.
Let that sink in.
And all last year has shown is concept art.
And that's still more, right?
And
like they've literally done more.
Of the game, all they have is concept art.
But they've done more in 2024 than TCSM
That's
has. So
true.
I think we'll revisit this, I'm sure, in a future season. But I think that the next couple of updates are like going to tell us everything we need to know about what their plans are. They're either going to be making longevity changes, or they're going to be trying to sell a few more DLCs before the game goes under.
We already know what their plans are. They're gonna reanalyze things in August. That means that this game is getting nothing after August.
Gary, I'm a dreamer. Let me dream. All right, I'm a dreamer. Let me dream.
Let me dream.
Let me dream.
But a game that has a healthier Steam player base, which I think John alluded to, is Outlast Trials, which we played very recently. Should we talk about that for a bit?
Let's talk about Outlast Trials. I'm excited. We just played through the winter event a couple days ago.
Yeah, the Winter Kills event.
We decided to play it on the day before it ended, so we missed out on a lot of the cosmetics.
Didn't get the things that I wanted because it was too late, but I enjoyed it.
Still had fun, and it was our own fault because it went on for like 3 weeks.
True,
which is a crazy long time.
It was our bad, not a game's bad.
Yeah.
If anything, I was surprised that it was going as long as it was. Like I was like, wow, we still have a chance to play this. Yeah, I was surprised we had
Could be 3 days.
What do you guys think?
I actually, I enjoyed the winter event. So they had a unique trial for the winter event. where there was a unique
Mechanic
effect on the
beat.
match. Yeah, mechanic called Winter Chill, and it was like every couple minutes or so, like a freeze came into the map, and if you weren't hiding in a locker or in a barrel or some other hiding spot, then you suffered some damage from the cold, and it made an interesting new dynamic to the trial that it made it more challenging, but I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah,
I liked in particular that it was announced by like a siren.
Yes.
So then the voice comes, somebody's like, "Oh, cold snap's coming, get to cover!" You know, it was kind of funny, and it would sometimes happen at the worst opportunity when you're already being chased, and you have to try and find cover without being like right in front of an enemy, because then they open it back up.
Yeah. I got dragged out of a locker a couple times by an enemy into the cold snap, and then they were beating me, so I was taking damage from them and also from the cold snap. That was not fun.
I think I recall very clearly John saying something to the effect of, "This is fucking bullshit." As he was getting dragged out of the barrel.
One of the enemies, the one with the headphones on their head or whatever those things are, they kept pulling me out during the cold snap.
Yeah.
They just like, I would be in the locker doing just fine by myself, and then they would like walk up to it, not knowing I was there, and they'd be like, "Huh, this locker," and they just pull me out for no reason.
Guys were stream sniping you, bro. That's crazy. Crazy.
Exactly. Now I know how true talent feels.
Oh, another haymaker from the Wolfman.
From the Wolfman.
I will
like
say, I said something really funny about us today too. I'll tell you guys later. So yeah, like the event, I think the word challenging, totally agree. I will say that my only complaint about the event would be that, like, to me, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not, I felt like the challenge wasn't very casual friendly. I feel like those challenges were designed around people that have been like no-lifing the game and need that harder mode, that more difficult. They got to really like dial in. And like for us all coming back to the game after months long breaks, right? I feel like it was very challenging. The event with the RNG nature of it. Like, I mean, the last match in particular.
Yeah, like, John, you missed the last match, but I did not like the last match. The premise of it was really annoying.
It had a bunch of doors that would like on a timer open and close, but they were like doors that you needed to access like key areas of the mission, right? And then the exit was like, to this day, we don't know if the exit was even accessible without the door switch.
I think there was always a way around, but when you're trying, they're like labyrinths, right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to build an internal map of like, where am I going? And then all of a sudden one door closes. So now the bit that you're in, you can't get to where you want to go. So you have to start going the other direction and start thinking about that part. And then that door starts to close. So you're like, oh, now I'm back to square one.
And then the cold chill happens when you're midway trying to figure out where you're going next. And then there's enemies running around. You've got coil. It was just... It was starting to just annoy me because it took a long time to get through it, and then the end was it's just irritating.
Yeah. I think it would have been neat if they would have had difficulty levels, and you would get more rewards for playing it on the harder difficulty levels, and they could kind of slow it down a little bit, so people that are coming back to the game after a long break can kind of reacclimate themselves to the game before taking on the more challenging stuff. Because it felt pretty RNG to me. Like some of the trials were really easy, and then like some of them were more challenging because it was like randomized, right? You get like randomized stuff. Yeah. And so that was my only, and again, it's like a very minor complaint because I think we held our own and we did fine.
Yeah,
I had
great.
I had a lot of fun.
We did.
Yeah, I had fun. The game's great. Like, I love Outlast Trials. I'd happily play it more frequently again if you guys want to find time. I'd more than happily play it more.
I had to grind the cosmetics.
You haven't played the 4th trial yet, have you, John?
I don't think so.
So
we did something in a courthouse, but that was part of the Winter Chill event.
Oh yeah, so the courthouse was the 4th one that they added, where it has its own like. There's like the main one, and then there's like the side ones that are based on that map, where you're basically getting someone who's guilty of like murdering people off the hook by like killing witnesses and stuff. So it's very dark. It's very twisted.
Yeah. Oh no, I actually have played that one. Yeah, I played it when it came out. I think around Halloween.
It really kept the vibe of the Outlast Trials. Maybe not being the nicest people.
It's so
the people that are trying to
gruesome.
program you. It's very gruesome, but it was great. It looked gorgeous. Like, just really high quality stuff Outlast Trials is coming out with here.
Yeah,
I will say the pacing of the levels always feels really good as well. Like, generally, like, I'm very impressed by the design.
Me too.
You know how picky I can be.
I was gonna say that's not, and then again, all jokes aside, that's not an easy task. Gary. Like you hold them to a high standard. I'm just saying it's a high
Yeah.
standard.
No,
bro.
that's true. Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. You got to tell me if it's good or not.
I think
Gary got
my,
frustrated on that one trial, but he still likes the game.
yeah.
And that's rare because
That's
usually
right.
once you get frustrated, Gary, you're like, I want this
That's
game to
it.
burn.
Well, it's am I frustrated with the entire game or am I frustrated with a part of the game? If
Yeah.
It's like, and with that, it was just the door mechanic. I don't like the door mechanic. Not every level
Right.
has that door mechanic. I can live without that. Whereas, Poppy's Playtime, whatever it is, has that thing, and you have to deal with that every time you play it. So I hate it. I think if I was going to say one thing I didn't like about the event for Outlast Trials would be the way they give out the rewards. I don't
Agreed.
like RNG.
It is very.
I like structure. I like being able to go, if I play this game, I can get to this point. If I give 10 hours, I'll get the cosmetic I want.
Yeah.
Like DBD or Fortnite or any like games that have like a trajectory of the rewards. Like Sino, you said you wanted those wings, didn't you? That said bad bitch or something. Fly bitch?
It was like, yeah, fly, bitch.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious because I have that sense of humor, I guess.
Yeah.
You got a currency, but it wasn't like a store where you could buy whatever you want. It was like you had to wait to get the item that you wanted as like a random reward that you could then buy with the currency.
Yeah.
But I think it should have just been like, here's all the things you can buy, but you need the currency for them, and then you just get the tokens, and then you
Yeah,
buy
let
what
me
you
let me
want.
choose what I want. A bit like how DBD does it.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that was like, in my opinion, where I see it as like they were looking for basically an excuse to make you play a lot because they didn't want people to just come in, grind the one item they want, and then be like, okay, I'll come back for the next one. They're trying to keep people playing, right?
Yep.
So maybe you put that RNG element in there, could maybe take you forever to get your wings. I wanted the wings too. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, the
Right.
wings were cool.
But do we agree that like if instead of doing it RNG, you just make like some of the dope stuff really expensive, so you have to play a lot anyways? Like I feel like maybe that's
Yeah.
a better option
That
because
would
then
be better.
I have the choice if I want to invest this much time to get that thing. Whereas with RNG, you could play for 100 hours and maybe not get one of the items you wanted, depending on
Yeah. You might not
drops,
get
right?
lucky. You might unlock every single cosmetic except the one that you want because
I don't-
there's
Yeah.
dozens of them.
And also just to kind of bring back to Texas Chainsaw, when they said a comment about you should just play for fun. With Outlast Trials, I can just play for fun. The game is inherently fun, so I don't mind putting a bunch of hours in it to unlock something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and there's always something to like earn in Outlast Trials because like not only are there like the upgrade tickets and like during the events the event items and currency and things like that, but there's also like grades. You've got your little report card and you want to get them all to say A+.
If you
can
get
go through
S+,
each one.
you unlock special trophies and stuff for that level.
Yeah. And there's they're always bringing in like they're rotating in like those really challenging ones, like what was it, Program X or whatever the first one was, where like you had to be within a certain proximity of each other or you got shocked.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That,
that
was
one was-
really hard to
that
get
was-
high grades on. You couldn't do it. Like you couldn't get
That
home
one-
in like a B. It was crazy.
That one was fun though. I remember playing that.
Oh,
That
we
was
should play
fun.
more Outlast Trials.
We should
So
play more
good.
Outlast
We should.
Trials, dude. It's really
Yeah.
like that was so much fun. Be like, get
But,
over
like,
here, bro.
There's
Ow!
always something to like go for, like some sort of
Yeah.
goal to get, or I mean, unless you put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into it, I'm sure you have everything. But it has like a lot more to do than just like, oh, I got another level. I got one more point that I can use for upgrades.
For
Yeah.
a not live service PvP game, they have managed to give it a lot of replayability, and it's
Yes.
fine if you play it like tons and then you kind of stop and then you come back for the new stuff. Like it's okay. I think they're okay with that as a concept. But
Yes, yeah.
what they do give you is like really high quality, and it will keep you occupied if you get into it for a little while. And maybe that's nicer than something that constantly is just trying to keep you playing forever, but it's kind of
Well, it's because it's PvE. It's got this added advantage of it can't be ruined by the players. Because like the other game that like I think that I've had the most fun with like playing with you guys and stuff is Midnight Ghost Hunt, but that was immediately ruined by the players. Whereas
Yep.
Outlast Trials remains that level of fun. It's just
And a lot
it's
of that-
awesome.
A lot of that has to do with like to their credit, they've made a very like competent AI for these enemies.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of stupid sometimes, and you can feel like you got away with something if you hid at just the right time, or stun locking them, doing things like that. You can feel smarter, but there's also times where they just pull you out of the locker, and you're like, how'd they know I was there? And so they've got kind of a smartness to them too. It's a nice like dynamic feel that
And they have
few games
a
can
level
achieve.
because like how often do you feel smarter than Coil?
Yeah.
Coil's just like, he's punishing, but like all the rest of them, like the lower ones, it's like you can feel
Right.
smarter than. It's nice. Like there's the
Yeah.
boss, which is like always scary.
Yeah. True.
You very rarely notice the characters being warped. They do this thing where they keep them kind of close to you, so that you can't just completely be like, oh, there's that guy. If I just run away immediately, I won't see him again ever. But it's only very rarely do you notice like Coil being behind you, and then you get near the end of the level and it's like, there's Coil again. How did he get in front of me? It's like most of the time it feels like they've just kind of ended up near you, and now you have to think about it again, as opposed, especially because it's like a stealth game, I guess. So it's a little bit easier for them to do that. If you could just like run away from people at the start of the level and you know that they remain at the start of the level, it'd become really easy, because then you would rush and that would be it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, like the design's really clever because they have those doors they walk through. So if they needed to like move him somewhere, they just go, right, the AI goes, move to this door and I'm going to teleport you. And that's if he's inside. If you're not looking at him, they can do what they want with him. But like it's the game, the design's like, it's just superb. It's just one of the better games I've played in recent years. Like in terms of horror, like I just think it's fantastic, especially for a game you can play with your friends.
Yeah.
Has everyone here played Outlast 1 and 2?
No, I played 1 and the start of 2, and then I messaged you, John, to say, does this game get better? And you said if you didn't like the start, you won't like the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like, fair enough, so I stopped.
Fair. Yeah, I agree with past John in saying that. Because I one thing I was really skeptical about, and I know a lot of people were also skeptical of this when they announced Outlast Trials, is like, oh, it's co-op. Oh, it's it's not just like a single player campaign. How are they going to do this? But I think I could safely say by now they've pulled it off. They've pulled off the single player Outlast experience, but made it to where you can play with friends, and it's more fun than it was in the games, which are no slouch. Those games are good for what they are.
Yeah. I had a thought.
Maybe it's coming to console soon.
Maybe
it's coming to console very soon. Yeah, is it March?
True.
It's coming to console,
and it has crossplay, I think.
If it has
crossplay,
it's over. Yeah, it's over. That game will be going on forever. I had a thought. It's funny how we start talking about Outlast Trials. I don't know. I know Gary already said it. It makes me want to play the game. Like just talking about it with you guys and remembering like playing just recently.
Yeah.
I just want to play the game. I don't think any of us had those feelings talking about Texas Chainsaw.
No.
And we had a lot of fun playing.
Or DBD, to be honest. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't even talk about how the meta of TCM is fucked up at the moment, because the new victim can just turn on an exit and you can't turn it off again. So it's like all of the Reddit is complaining with Danny at the moment. We didn't even talk about that.
Right,
I was like, but
yeah, true.
That's been like that since November.
I think it speaks to the numbers on Steam charts reflecting that Outlast Trials has more PC players than Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like it tracks, because just talking about the game, like it sounds like a lot of fun to get together with you guys and play some Outlast Trials for an hour or two, sometime during the week. But like, I play Texas Chainsaw, and I still probably would not hit you guys up to go play, because I don't think we would have a very good time.
Yeah.
I
have to reinstall the game. That's a lot of work.
I'm not doing that.
I tried to play it with other content creator friends, and they were just like, do you want to play DVD instead? They just weren't really having a lot of fun with it.
No.
It was a major problem I had.
Other friends?
Uh-oh. I gotta go.
Are they spine chillers?
Yeah. Do they watch us?
They could never, darling. You're the best.
Outlast Trials, great game.
So Outlast Trials, knocking it out of the park. I look forward to whatever they do next. Like, and I'll buy any DLC they make. Yeah, quite frankly.
I'm looking forward to future trials. Like, I love the idea that there's going to be a 5th trial and maybe a 6th trial, and like they're going to keep adding to it. Like, imagine, like, I feel like even though the game doesn't have like a solid roadmap of like, here's what we're going to do, next month and the month after that, I feel like the game's on a good path and they're investing time and energy into it, and it's going to be a really like deep and worthwhile game.
Do you know what's kind of interesting? The courthouse is excellent. It doesn't add any new characters. It's just it's an awesome new level.
I noticed that.
Like, because it's just Coil again, isn't it? I say just
it's
Coil.
Coil's again,
great, but like,
Coil's great.
Yeah. But like, imagine the next level comes with a new character with new voice lines, and it's like, I'm so excited at the idea of it.
That is my one thing, is like, I hope whatever trial comes next, we get somebody other than Coil or Mother Gooseberry. They just need one new character to add into the rotation, because 3 would be so much better than 2. Yeah.
Agreed. So can you guys do me a favor now? It's been really popular. Can you guys tell me about Lethal Company? Because I have actually never played it, and I've watched about a minute and a half of streams of it. I know very little about it, enough to know kind of what it is, but I want you guys to tell me all about Lethal Company.
Yes.
I know
Yeah,
you
so-
played a lot.
Lethal Company, for anyone that doesn't know, been posting videos on it of me, Gary, and Sino, and our friend Gab playing. But it's a new co-op. I would say it's a horror game in which you it's kind of similar to like Forewarned and to a certain extent Phasmo. It's kind of got the same sort of feel where you all park in front of a base. You go into it and you encounter monsters and you try to survive and collect loot. It's got a very unique feel to it, and I think part of that is propelled by all the random creatures that you encounter, all the random items that you can buy and interact with, and all the random loot that you can get. And it's just got a really dynamic way of it and a great atmosphere. It's the biggest indie horror hit of 2023, Lethal Company. Buy it today.
Honestly, it's been some of the most fun I've had playing a game. You know, like, I don't know, it's just so much fun.
The
It's so
chaos
chaotic.
is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I've been so shit up during a game as well, like constantly. I feel like if you've watched any of your videos of Lethal Company, I've watched them all because they're so good. I'm biased though, but I can just hear myself in the distance sometimes, just being like, ah! And I can remember, like, it's just constant suffering, but like in the best way possible. It's so, the atmosphere is excellent. That's why I think like the Phasmo comparison is really good, because I think the atmosphere is very similar, as well as trying to figure out what the hell are you surrounded by. You hear like a footstep and you're like, right, what's that?
Well, the thing that the game really excels at to me is the moment where you're kind of standing there and you're like, huh, nothing's really happening. And then you turn around and everything happens. All of a sudden, in like a 5-second span, you're in it. And it doesn't necessarily jump scare you with it, but it's just the sort of thing where things can go from 0 to 100 immediately. And few games can pull that off.
Yeah, there was, I think there was one, was it our most recent playthrough? We all went in, everything seemed fine, we're all picking up loot, and then suddenly I think, was it you and me, John, that were trapped by the spider? I was like, we have to get past this.
Yeah.
Because I had to get back to the ship to be the computer dweeb.
Yes.
But it all
Art
went...
imitates life.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
But
I still haven't seen your co-host roasting.
I've been having so much fun with it. Like, honestly, I look forward to next Wednesday when we play more of it. And Doug, we'll have to play some because it's so
we'll
good.
Have to play some
we'll find
us,
time
for sure. So that next time we can talk about it as a 4-stack.
It
Yeah,
really
I'll
is
check it
just the classic thing of good sound design really makes horror.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it does.
It really is. Like just hearing things like creeping around or thumping kind of nearby, and then of course your teammates, like the further away you get from them in in-game voice comms, the more muffled they sound. Hearing John through like a couple of like walls just be like, what the fuck is that? And then he like cuts out. You're like, should we keep going? Should we go back? It's the classic good sound design.
Yeah, definitely.
I always love those ones when you go back in the base, you go, hello?
Yeah.
Anyone?
I love the moment where you're not sure if anyone else is alive or not. That's a cool moment. But I think for me, it's a really impressive game too, because like the developer, I think, is really young. And I think their previous work was making like Roblox game modes. And then they made Lethal Company as like their first game. And I'm like, this is a great debut.
Yeah.
Really impressive. And the fact that it was able to take off like it is, I mean, we haven't seen an indie horror game take off like this since Phasmophobia, 3 or 4 years ago. So it's very rare.
I was gonna make that comparison too. So like this feels like when Phasmo first came out, like the vibe I'm getting from, because again I haven't really played the game, I haven't played it at all, but I've seen like a lot of my friends play and a lot of streamers are playing it, and it's got that whole like everything's new and exciting and like super crazy, and like you got to check this game out. And like again, we see where Phasmo's at now. Like they've just continued to build off of that and like grow the game into what it is today. So hopefully Lethal Company will have the similar staying power.
I've seen a lot of Phasmo streamers actually moving over to playing Lethal Company at the moment, probably because they're like, need a break from Phasmo. So it's definitely doing well in terms of that.
Yeah, it's definitely attracted a lot of the same player base. Like InSim is like probably the top Phasmo streamer, and he's pretty much done nothing but Lethal Company for the past few weeks. So,
Yeah.
and I get it. It's like, you know, it's the hot new game, and it's really fun. I'm interested to see what content updates they have coming up.
So I'll give you a little info here, including the content updates. It topped the global top seller list for Steam in November 2023 with over 100,000 concurrent players.
Whoa.
It was in one of the top 10 games by revenue on Steam for 2023, earning an estimated $52 million between its release and the end of the year. Third highest in terms of overall units sold.
Wow.
Apparently, the developer said that they plan to have the game finished in the next 6 months, where like it'll be at the point where it'll have infinite replayability according to them, and they'll be happy to say that they're done with the project. I wonder if that's going to change, maybe now that they've made
change.
50 odd million off of it. But I think one thing that's really clever about Lethal Company is that it's very mod friendly. So
Yes.
even in the meantime, people are modding new creatures in and stuff like that.
That's huge.
Wow.
It really
very
is.
clever.
It's like what I said earlier, when we were taking shots at TCM, but it's something that holds true. Is like you want to have fewer limitations, not more. You want to let the player do as much as they can, and Lethal Company's really embraced that.
Yeah. And it's weird how it succeeded, and I haven't seen the developer attacking anyone in the player base. Weird.
Yeah, it's strange.
Instead, we're rooting for the little guy. We're like,
rooting
that's
for
so
the little
cool.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it's crazy that the Lethal Company dev is still the little guy, considering what a massive success
I hope they make
game
more
is.
money. They deserve it. The game's great.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned that a lot of the Phasmo streamers are switching over and playing some Lethal Company now because it's exciting. It's a new game.
Mhm.
Have you guys noticed any of the Lethal Company or the Phasmo streamers like shitting on Phasmo, saying I'm never coming back? I'm a Lethal Company
No.
streamer now. Yeah,
I've
No,
not seen
I've not
that.
seen a
Yeah.
single person do that.
that's crazy because that's kind of like the TCSM, right? When that happened, like a bunch of DVD streamers. Same with VHS. They just were like, I'm
Yeah.
done with DVD. I'm a TCSM guy. I'm a VHS person now.
This is it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of sweet to see like a game in the similar to the genre that you can just like enjoy and play. And then you're
Well, it's
always
because-
able to go back to Phasmo.
It's because I feel like Phasmo and those kind of games have a better attitude. I feel like that weird pseudo competitiveness about DBD and the asim space kind of bleeds over that people would pick a team. Like you're either a survivor main, or you're a killer main, or you're a TCM player, or you're a DVD player, or a VHS player, or you've got to
Mhm.
pick one. You can't just play all of the video games and have fun. You're either playing Modern
Right.
Warfare, like Call of Duty, or you're playing
Fortnite.
Right.
Yes, Fortnite
Well-
or Call of Duty.
You know, on a more personal note, I think that's one of the reasons why over the course of 40 episodes of the previous edition of Spine Chill, I think we failed to really grow a big audience, is because in asymmetrical horror, you pick one game and you stick with it. There are very few people other than us that were playing like, I'm playing DBD, and I'm playing Evil Dead, and I'm playing TCM,
Yeah.
and I'm
and
playing
Ghostbusters.
that people did not spread out across those games, and so that's just kind of
and it's
how
funny,
that genre is.
We got a lot of comments. We would get YouTube comments, and people would talk to me about it just in general. Like, oh, I don't play any of those games. I just like listening to you guys talk about it. I think that we
Right.
probably had like a fraction of our listener base that actually played the majority of the games that we talked about outside of DBD.
Yeah,
Like, it's just in general. I guess this.
yeah, true.
Just can't be
Interesting.
bothered. I'm sure a lot, like most of the people I talked to about it are like, they were interested. For instance, when TCM was coming out, they're like, "Yeah, I'm kind of interested in the idea of it. Like, is it going to be this cool new game?" They're like, "I just can't really be bothered going in and then having to
Learning
wait
a
in the
new
lobby
game
and seeing if it's fun or not." They might.
Figuring out where everything is, yeah.
They just it's hard to sell people on something that might not even be around shortly after as well. There's a lot of like, well,
True. And
maybe I should just wait.
and like for content creators and streamers and stuff, like you're kind of excited to jump into a new game usually, but for people that don't stream or make content around games, it is hard to convince people. It's just like, come on, buy the game, install it, do the tutorial, go through the settings, like go through the whole rigmarole of
Get stalked
getting
by a
invested,
killer for a
starting
bit.
new, yeah.
Yeah.
Go to
It
Reddit,
will be
memorize
fun when
the
you learn
memorize the maps. Like,
Yeah,
you just,
exactly.
you can
Learn the
dominate the
meta.
field. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do all that. They get home from a long day of work. They have dinner with their family. They put the kids to bed, and they're like, "Hey, I want to play an hour or two of video games."
Yeah, they're gonna play Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
What's that? I've
As
never
they
heard of
should.
that game before. What's that?
Oh, it's just a little tiny little indie game. Nobody's
No?
really talked about it, but
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's flown under my radar. It's crazy.
Can I just say how happy? Like, I think because obviously moving forward, we're not just going to be asim games anymore.
No.
And it's just so refreshing to get to talk about Outlast Trials and Phasmophobia and Lethal Company and many more games in the future. I'm sure. Like, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
This is nice.
the asim space like is kind of mean and unhappy and grumpy all the time, and we were an anomaly to enjoy more than just one fraction of that pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the space is in trouble when I'm moving out of it, I feel like.
Oh, definitely.
Right? I'm deciding
The
that
king of
like
ASIMs.
ASIM's not going to be the only genre that I make content anymore. I cannot stay a one game creator, and there's no other games that are like DB or TCSM's holding on by a thread right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And that was our best shot.
And
Killer
the other
Clown-
giant bonus to it is we've got Sinnoh now joining
Yeah.
us.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
A new senior co-host. Very happy.
Yeah, if
that
you
we have
guys
three
invited
now.
me on to talk about DBD for 2 hours every 2 weeks, I probably would be like, no, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Not- not
there was
just
no
DVD.
there was
I can't.
no way. There was
No
no
way.
way.
Yeah. Well, and we have plans in future episodes. We're very excited to unveil this. To talk about a new game each week.
Oh, each episode.
Well, sorry, each episode. By the way, the episodes are going to be every 2 weeks. I probably should have led off with that. Yeah, we did weekly episodes, but now we're doing bi-weekly episodes. So we're going to bury that at the end of we're 2 hours into this episode. But starting next episode. Damn, next season.
Next
We're
season.
going to be
John is falling apart.
we're going to be starting we'll come up with a name for it probably, but kind of a book club thing where we're all going to be playing the same game in between episodes, and then when we come back the next episode, we'll give our thoughts on it.
And we'll take it in turns to pick the games to
Those
force our co-hosts to play.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll try to pick like shorter single player games.
Damn.
But we'll shift off every episode.
I can't force everyone to play my favorite visual novel that has 8 episodes and would take hundreds of hours to read through. Damn.
So it's gonna be like, let's play Higurashi When They Cry. And
Yeah.
we'll be like, oh god.
If we
Doug's
do,
like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I don't know what were those words that you said.
if we do pick bigger games, I suppose we could like limit it to a few hours of gameplay, so you can get like a taster for it and be like, oh yeah, I like that. Or
I think we'll be good. Like we're all friends here, right? We'll because like we've been kind of throwing some titles around there, maybe on the longer side, but that's going to be something we kind of all agree that we want to do. Like rather than somebody be like, hey, yeah, you got to play Baldur's Gate 3, you got to get all the endings, right? You know, something
That's
crazy
not
like
gonna
that.
happen. Yeah.
Right. But I think that more often than not, I think this is going to be a really fun project. It's going to get me playing some games that I would never play.
when you said project, it just filled me with fear. I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, I that was not foreshadowing, Gary. I'm not boring. I'm not gonna make you play a game that you already hate. All right, that would just be mean. I'm gonna make you play a game that you're gonna hate instead of a game you already
a new
hate.
game
right?
to hate.
Yeah, so don't you worry about that.
But yeah, so that's
I'm
something to
very
look forward to in season 42 coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, I am excited for this. I think it's gonna be real fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to announce the game next time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that okay? Do you guys want to do it like
I think
that?
I think that's what we.
Well,
Because we could-
next time we can announce it prior, but
Or we could just start now.
We could, we could announce it
I feel like
now.
new season, maybe
No,
we could
yeah.
just start it now. I
I
don't
thought
know.
What do you guys think?
thought we agreed on until the next
Okay.
one.
Well,
If you think
announce-
you're gonna be
because
busy, Doug.
might not have time to play it before.
We had this
We have a
discussion.
game in mind.
We had this discussion, but it was one of the longer games we were talking about, so we can't do
we
it.
have a longer game in mind, and we're not sure if we want to do it 100% yet, but we'll be announcing the game that we're doing next episode.
Yeah.
Your homework is to play Outlast Trials with me at one point.
I will
Done.
100%.
Homework.
Can we do it now? I'm down. Like I'm in.
Yeah, I'll do it right
No,
now.
you got no.
Let's do it
Let's
right
go.
now. Sit
Let's
up.
go.
You got
Let's go.
plans.
Skills plans, dude.
Oh.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn, I've already failed. It's been fun. It's been a fun
No.
podcast.
Yes.
It's been nice being a senior
Oh,
co-host.
that's not gonna, dude,
Yeah.
that's not gonna get you fired. Have you been watching? Dude, I get away with everything. You'll be fine. You're good.
Yeah. We would fire Doug every week.
Yeah, you don't have to know stuff, bro. You just show up.
We promoted him to junior co-host after that abysmal interview.
What do you mean? I thought
Oh, yeah. The interview. I forgot about that.
I
Did get you
nailed
the
it.
promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got me a promotion. That's true.
Yeah. The promotion.
Don't say the. It's not real.
Only one promotion.
Thank you so much for tuning in to season 41 of Spine Show. We're so excited to be back in 2024 with a new format for the show, and it's just going to get better from now on.
Oh, it really is.
Thank you so much to all of our fans in Romania. We know we're continuing to be the #1 gaming podcast there
Real ones.
forever.
Real ones.
Real ones. Yes, they know. And on behalf of me, senior co-host John Wolf, senior co-host Gary Hawcross, senior co-host SinowBeats, and junior co-host Doug Running Man.
Can I say my thing? I want to say that. So earlier I was talking about Stack Lobby, and I was like, Stack Lobby is Gary the Hot Cross, Lloyd SinowBeats, and John. I thought that was really funny. I was like, Doug Running Man and John.
That's very good, Doug.
That's who's signing off. Thank you for telling me I did a good job. I needed that.
Can I say my thing? That's why you're a junior co-host.
I know. I'm just leaning into it this year. It's a new year, bro.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses.